I wanted to encapsulate an overall view of what fractalism is based upon in terms of the way it meshes with human nature. Because we talk too much about the money side of it, I think, and not enough about how it is to live in it and what the levers of power are in fractalism. So, and it's not shouting at people, and it's not managing people, and it's not leading people. Fractalism is based upon the fact that people are fundamentally adaptive. They adapt to two things primarily. One thing is their environment, the context which they're in, and
the
other
physical environment. Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah, the physical environment, and I'm thinking a lot about the physical environment combined with the rules.
So the two sides to that, the physical
the pressures
environment
put on them by
and
other
the
people.
rule set. Yeah, okay.
And then there's a social environment.
Yes.
So the interaction with the people around them. And they could be customers or suppliers, they could be colleagues, and of course in a conventional organisation it would be the hierarchy as well.
Yeah, and we were saying earlier that the history of the human race is that we're very bad at planning ahead long term. You know, we don't do anything about, say, climate change or whatever, but we are very good at adapting. If you go back over thousands of years, humans are so good at adapting to wherever they live on the planet, whatever's happening to them, whatever their rulers are doing to them. So we are an adaptive creature.
Or an adaptive
for sure.
species, rather than... Because maybe the individual might not survive, by the way, within the species, but the species as a whole survives. So the individual might not be able to adapt, but an element of the species will be able to adapt.
Well, I think many individuals are good at adapting, not everyone. And we don't like the thought of adapting, but when we have to, we're pretty good at finding ways, I think. And the first thing we do in an organisation, my first ever job, I arrived, and I was told you got to clock in, you got to do what your boss says, you got to do this, and we actually made up the rules of never go to the toilet before work because you might as well get paid for it when you arrive. And we very quickly worked out how to play the system, and they used to pay overtime in quarter of an hour. So if you clocked out at 5:15, you'd get quarter of an hour of overtime. If you clocked out at 8 minutes past, you'd get quarter of an hour. Okay. If you clocked out at 7 minutes past, you didn't get anything.
No.
So if you were leaving at 7 minutes past, you'd wait for 1 minute and clock out at 8, because then you get quarter.
Yeah.
And there was no point to doing anything else until you got to, can't do it, 23 past, know. And we immediately knew that. So the system controlled our behaviour totally, and we adapted totally to the system. And I think that's what you're saying, isn't it? That
absolutely.
We are like that.
We are, and we do it when we're driving, we do it in so many different contexts in our life. And it's not something you feel particularly put upon to do it. You're just optimising the benefits you get.
In the moment, to the current rule set.
That's right. So you're not particularly interested in turning your heating down because of global warming, but you will instantly react if your house floods. Yeah. So we're very adaptive to the here and now.